Welcome to the fourth video of the jurisprudence. I, Foram Patel, would like to welcome you all. Now, starting with the concept of the status of certain people, certain persons. We discussed the concept of the rights, the concept of the duties, and the concept of the wrongs in the previous videos. Now, in this video, we shall be discussing, or rather, we shall be talking about the concept of the persons and their legal statuses. So, that would pose a question. Who is a person? Now, according to the law, a person is anyone who has certain legal rights and they are also bound by certain legal duties. So, this person may be real or even imaginary. So, then what is the legal status of an unborn child, or rather a minor or a drunk person or a lunatic? Let's find out. In this video, we shall be discussing the status, as you can see, of the unborn child, minor, lunatic person, drunken, dead, etc. So, under the eyes of the law, there are two types of legal entities, like a human and a non-human. So, a person who is a human will be the legal entity, but a company or a corporation, etc., on the other hand, they will be the non-human, or rather it's a judicial person or entity, but it still has certain rights and obligations to be fulfilled. Now, the law of the status, when we are talking about, it concerns itself with the status of a man in the society only. It governs the natural, domestic and the extra domestic status of that man in the society as whole. Now, extra domestic status covers the relationship, the interactions of a man apart from the one that he has with his family, to the whole world at large. So, the law of the status will deal with those people that do not enjoy that privilege of being legal entities, or rather they are not distinct legal personalities, but yet the society has a duty towards them and their well-being also. So this includes the unborn child, a minor, a lunatic person, a drunken person, or even a dead person. A child that is there still in the womb of his mother is still not a technical person, but by legal fictions, an unborn child is already considered born. Yes, you heard it right. So even when the child is there in the womb of a mother, they are granted certain legal rights in the eyes of the law. So they are a personality, they are a person, they are a breathing human being. So if the child is born alive, then he will enjoy all the legal right and the status. But if the child is not born alive, then that would end the legality, or rather the status of that individual. Under the Indian law, my friends, as per the Transfer of Property Act, we can transfer the property for the benefit of the unborn child. This is done via the concept of the trust. Now, as per the Indian Succession Act also, we can create an interest in the name of the unborn child in the property. But the interest of the property can only be vested after the child is born alive. In an HUF or also the Mitakshara law, the unborn child does have certain rights in the property of the ancestors. Criminal procedure states that if a female inmate sentenced to death is found to be pregnant, the execution is postponed till the birth of that particular child. So that means, my friends, that the law is recognizing even the unborn child who is there in the womb of the mother. So the status when we are talking about the unborn child will be as good as a person who is already born. So this was the status of an unborn child. Now it comes to the status of the legal man, or rather a dead person, a dead man. A dead person is no more a legal entity, of course. As soon as a person dies, he becomes incapable of enjoying his rights, or rather even performing his duties which has been entrusted upon him. So the legal personality of the person ends with their death. However, the law does take into account the wishes and the desires of that deceased person, and it also ensures that there is no false harm to the reputation of that dead man, or rather that deceased. So, as per the Indian law, every person has the right to decent burial as per their religious faith. Any act that amounts to the integrity of the corpse is punishable by section 297 of the Indian Penal Code. This also applies to any homeless person even without a family. The wishes of a dead person regarding his property also must be fulfilled. This is done for the benefit of the living who are benefiting by such wishes or the will. The word defamation, of course we have discussed and we must have come across this word defamation. Now, if the dead person is defamed by certain means, then section 499 is regulating the same aspect. This includes anything that harms the reputation of the person with the intention to hurt even the family and the close relatives, my friends. So, this means that the legal personality or legal status of a dead man is extended to his wishes, to his after death effects, or rather to his property and also his reputation. Now comes the legal status of a drunkard, a lunatic and a minor. Now, the legal status of a drunkard or a minor or a lunatic have some special considerations to be fulfilled. Now, these people are of course the natural people and they do have the legal identity also. However, they are considered incapable to enter into any of the contracts because of that particular status of theirs. So, as per the law, every person who has attained majority is considered capable of entering into contracts. This obviously means that a minor is not capable to do so. Other than that, there are certain persons who also are incapable of entering into the contracts by the law. So, any person who is mentally afflicted, that includes the lunatics also, or that includes the drunken people, at the time of entering into the contract, if they are incapable for doing so, if they are lunatic or they are drunken, then that will not be taken into consideration as a lawful one. This is very strange, my friends, but it is definitely true. So that means that the status of the of the lunatic, the drunkard or the minor persons, they are having special considerations that when they are entering into the contract, we do need to answer these questions that are they capable of doing so? If yes, then they definitely will have the legal rights and the duties, of course, corresponding with them. But when we are talking and when we are answering the same question in a negative way, then my friends, they will not have any status, any legal status in the eyes of the law. So now that comes to the question, what would be the status of a slave? The concept of the slaves, my friend, was way back there in before centuries. So at that time they did not have any independent legal status. But now, as the time has changed, the society has changed, the law has definitely given them a recognition of an individual, and so they also have the status as a legal entity, and the rights, if violated, must be protected by the law. So friends, this video was all about the status of the unborn, minor, drunken, dead, lunatic, etc. people and their legalities. They are definitely governed by the law, when they can be considered as legal entity and when they cannot be considered, till what extent they can be considered, etc. So, putting an end to this session, I would like to say that in the next session we shall be discussing the concept of the titles. Till then, take care.